Hello and welcome to Activate the Kitchen. I'm Ollie Jones. Before we get going, could you please make sure you've washed your hands very thoroughly. Today we're making a really healthy sort of alternative to muffins. It's sweet potato and courgette muffins without any added sugar or any added fat. Therefore a little bit healthier than your normal versions. Before we get going, you'll need to put your oven on a fan assisted oven for 180 degrees, or if you haven't got a fan assisted, then 200 will be fine. And you'll need one large sweet potato or two smaller sweet potatoes. And the first job you're going to do is peel them using a peeler. I just use a standard peeler there. And then the next part is to cut it with a knife. Parents might want to supervise here because the sweet potato is quite hard to cut through. So I've used my large knife, and you want to cut the sweet potato into about 1 centimetre pieces. So it doesn't matter how big they are, that's fine. And put that on a baking sheet with baking paper on top and place in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. They want to be softened. It doesn't matter if they go a little bit brown, that's fine. I've already done that and I've cooled them down. So these are already cold. And as you can see, some of them are a little bit brown, but that's fine. But they are soft. If you push into them, you can squeeze into them. Now, as my previous recipes, it's quite good to get your hands in on the ingredients. So we're going to get going. And first of all, we're going to mash up the sweet potato. So I've got myself a bowl, and I'm going to put all my softened sweet potato in there. And the first part I'm going to use my hands to mash it up. Normally you'd use a masher, but I always think it's good to get stuck into it straight away. So I'm just going to place all the ingredients out the way for now. And there we go. So just get your hands right in there and squish it. You want to squish that sweet potato as if you're making some sort of slime or Play-Doh. It's starting to get very, very sticky, and blending it all in now. It's got a lovely smell actually, sweet potato. And sweet potato is really healthy for you. If you like chips, try sweet potato fries, homemade, really healthy. So start to all blend it in there with your fingers. You get both hands in there as well. Give it a good old mix. You don't want any massive lumps of sweet potato there. Pretty sticky and yeah, fantastic. It's looking good. So getting all those big bits out of the way. If you don't like to get your hands in this, then you can use a normal masher as we have in the kitchen. So there we go. It doesn't matter if there's a few little lumps in there, that's fine. Now I'm going to just get any excess off my fingers, give them a rinse under the tap. A lot dry. Now the next ingredient you need is 1 courgette. Doesn't matter what size. I used a medium courgette and I've grated that. I've already grated it there. Doesn't matter what grade of grating you've done, I'll just use a sort of medium size there. And you need, first of all, courgettes have quite a lot of water, so you need to squeeze the water out of that. So once again, you're going to get your hands in again and just show how much water comes into a courgette. If I get a handful of courgette there and I squeeze, you can see quite a lot of liquid coming out of that courgette there. So we need to get rid of as much liquid as possible. So I'm going to get a handful of that. I'm going to squeeze the courgette as much as I can, trying to get as much moisture out of the courgette as possible. And once I've squeezed it out, nice sort of green sort of courgette juice coming out of that, and then going to place that into my bowl of sweet potato. So I'm going to keep doing that. If you're being really healthy, you might be even adding this courgette juice to a super green smoothie. There we go, some more. Don't worry if there's any courgette left at the bottom. And again, get rid of all that juice. And rinse our hands again. Now, so I've got my courgette, I've got my sweet potato all mashed up and rinsed from the courgette, and we're going to now add some flour. I'm using self-raising flour if you have any at home. You only need 2/3 of a cup. You don't need a huge amount, so 2/3 of a cup of flour, self-raising, and I'm going to add that to my mixture there. Then I'm going to get 2 large eggs. 2 large eggs, you need to crack those into a bowl. The reason why we don't crack them straight into the mixture, just in case you get any shell, which I did in that bowl there, so just to show you that it's worth cracking into a bowl there. So 2 eggs. You don't need to mix them up. Those 2 eggs go straight into our mixing bowl here. Next ingredients, you need a teaspoon for this one. I'm going to go for 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. If you add too much bicarbonate of soda, it tends to get a little bit salty. And I'm also going to go for 1/2 teaspoon of ground mixed spice. You can add a whole teaspoon if you like. Go for 1/2 though. And I'm going to go for 1/2 again. So all these 4 ingredients are 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla essence. With that as well, I'm going to get some honey. You could measure out, you only need 2 tablespoons of honey. I sort of guess the honey, I just get a little squeeze, and 1, 2, there we go. Not very scientific, I know, but it does the job. And then our final ingredient here today is going to be coconut milk. You can use light coconut milk if you want to. And the idea is shake the coconut can if you've had it in the cupboard for a while, because they tend to settle in one way. So give it a good shake, and you need 1/2 cup of coconut milk. Now this mixture might seem a little bit runny at first, but it will rise fine as you cook it. So 1/2 cup of coconut milk. I'll use the rest later. Put that in our bowl, and then we're going to mix that all up. Use a wooden spoon and just give that a good old stir. Blend in all the ingredients, stir, get the eggs broken up and mix them in there as well, and give that a good old mix. This is a great way of getting one of your 5 a day. There you go. So it's looking all mixed up there. That's fine. It's fantastic. Because the mixture's cool, our last ingredients, which is optional, you don't have to add to it if you don't want to, would be some chocolate chips. So I've got around about 1/2 cupful of chocolate chips. Dark chocolate chips are best. However, if you haven't got any dark chocolate chips, that's absolutely fine as well. I've used a mixture. I've got about 1/4 of a dark, 1/4 of milk chocolate chips. And I'm going to add that to that as well and give that a good stir. So there is a little bit of sugar in there with the chocolate chips, but very minimal. And there we go, ready to spoon into our muffin cases. The options here, you can either use the traditional muffin cases and a muffin tray, or I prefer to use personally silicone moulds, and you can use muffin trays as well for those as well. Which I find these easier because they don't stick so much. So in your muffin trays, you can spoon in about half full for each muffin tray, because they will rise slightly. So just get a nice bit of mixture there. About half full. You might be able to make your muffin trays in maybe about 12, maybe even more if you have got any mixture left. There we go. So there's There's my muffin trays with about half the mixture in each muffin tray there. And I can do the same thing with my silicone moulds as well. You need to place that in the oven for around about a bit longer than that actually. Sorry, I'm thinking of the sweet potato there. It takes a while to cook. So you need about 40 to 50 minutes in the oven. As they come out, wait for them to cool down. They will be very moist to eat, but they will be cooked. So 40 to 50 minutes in the oven. If you want to do it a little bit longer, that's fine if you've tested them. Enjoy, hope it tastes okay. Let me know how you get on. All the best, thank you very much. Take care, keep fit, keep safe, keep healthy. Bye-bye.